You got a problem?
You're very loud. She did not plan well.
I didn't plan well, is that what you said?
Yeah, you didn't open.
How dare you!
You didn't open your can before we went live.
This is No Pants Friday. There's no agenda. There's no planning. Okay?
All right.
Okay?
All right.
If I want to open my sody at the top of the hour, I'm going to do so.
Sody?
My sody. My sody. Did you grow up calling it soda?
Yes.
I grew up calling it pop. Because I don't know if that's an Oregon thing, but I know it's a Midwest thing, and my dad's from Minnesota, so we grew up calling it pop. And then at some point, I stopped calling it pop, and I call it soda. Now it sounds weird to say pop. So what do you guys say? Do you say pop or do you say soda?
It depends on where they live, for sure.
Well, that's what I'm asking. What I'm going to
So Thrifty Chick is from Andover, Mass. So home of random explosions. Yeah, no kidding. So she calls it soda.
Okay. All right.
Or tonic. Sometimes they call it tonic in Mass.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, is it the South where they call it Coke?
Yeah, everything's a Coke.
Yeah. And then you
doesn't matter what
flavor.
flavor.
Say what kind of, like, you want a Sprite Coke, I guess.
Yeah. See, I just like tonic in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. What's up, guys? It's Friday. It's No Pants Friday. It is
Friday.
No, oh, no. I messed it up.
No Pants
there
Friday. We go. No Pants Friday. No Pants. No Pants. No Pants Friday.
All right. That was better that time. Sorry, guys. I had to cue it up. I'm doing everything wrong today, aren't I?
She's kind of a hot mess today. I'm not going to lie.
Wait, Dr. Pepper, like you call all sodas Dr. Pepper? I've never heard that before. Is it just that you like Dr. Pepper? I don't know. I don't know.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Some people are saying they're watching this for the first time or live for the first time. So welcome to the land of
no pants.
No pants.
Apparently. No pants and cat t-shirts. Look, I'm wearing one of my new ones. It's a cat on a cat. A cat on a cat with laser eyes. And I think there's lava in there.
There's like a mountain and a gladiator.
Yeah, some sort of gladiator cat caught. I don't know.
Hot mess.
Sorry. I was running around the last second and I'm all flutter. I don't know what you call it. But I will say, guess what? I haven't even told you this. Guess what, guys? What? I made an appointment to get my hair cut.
Thank Jesus. Maybe I can see you without a hat on for once.
Whatever. It's like crazy long. But yeah, I need to get this all shorn off. So next time you see me, I'll have a lot less hair. Well, no, that's not true because Sunday my appointment's for next Tuesday. So next time.
Oh, okay.
For Wednesday's show, I will have my head shorn.
There will be no hat on.
Yeah, there will be no hat on.
She'll be complaining
that it's too short because she likes it to be longer. But you know what? Too bad. At least I'm a procrastinator. So for a few months, you get to enjoy my hair a little longer.
I didn't because you had a hat on every day.
That's true.
So,
very true.
Not so much.
Anyway, guys, it is Friday. I hope everybody's had some good sales. I hope your fourth quarter is rocking.
I had a fantastic this month so far. Like past 4 to 6 weeks have been really good. Yesterday I had an awesome sales day. Today it's like they put the closed sign up.
Yeah. It's that EKG, man, but we as long as it's like going in an upward trend, we're cool.
Haven't sold a thing yet today. $500 yesterday.
You haven't sold anything that you sold, like a couple things, haven't you?
No, one thing for $35.
Okay, so you're not zero.
Yeah. But I did go to a fantastic estate sale. Day 2 of the estate sale.
Yeah,
today.
and you like bought a ton of stuff. So you're gonna be showing some of that on Sunday.
I will show some of it on Sunday. Yeah, day 2 of a huge estate sale. Actually, Heather from Exclusive Elegance clued me into this estate sale like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They started advertising it. It was an enormous estate sale, more stuff than anybody has any business owning.
What is she doing? What's she doing looking at estate sales here?
I think it was one that was nationally
advertised
or sponsored on estatesales.net. So she happened to see it, and she does always post when those happen. If she sees good ones, she looks at pictures and she'll post them on Instagram. But she'd actually sent me a message about this one a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "You better make sure you go."
And you got a ton.
I did. I mean, I spent up for a little bit. It wasn't thrift store pricing, but it was really good high-end old lady clothes.
Yeah. I think you look really cute with your little bangsies.
I need a haircut too, actually. That's my issue.
I think it's kind of cute with your
too long
little bangs going on. Yeah, so sales have been like crazy because it is fourth quarter and I'm definitely feeling it. Also, we had guests, so it's like my inventory numbers are going down, and I'm like, I need to get more listing done to replenish those. But I was sourcing all day yesterday. Let me tell you something. Okay. And I see I've got Binky, the Binkster. She says the picture is fuzzy. Maybe it's your computer, Binky. Okay.
Well,
Binky.
Lorna said it was fuzzy for her too. So
maybe just the beginning, so it's cleared up. Binky says she just ripped her pants. All right, cool.
Okay.
But anyway, so speaking of fourth quarter, so I was over in the eBay on the eBay for Business Facebook page, and it was like some post about something. And I don't know if you guys go on that page very often, but it's like no matter what they post, there's always people who come in, and it's like, I don't know if maybe this is why they have bad sales, because they're just hanging out.
They said it's still fuzzy. What's going on with the camera? Did you spit on the camera?
I don't know, guys. It's not fuzzy here. I'm sorry. Try reloading or something. Sometimes it just takes a while. Maybe the feed's just not great. Anyway, my guess is the people with the really bad sales just spend all day hanging out on eBay for Business Facebook page, complaining about it. Yeah. So they had some post, and somebody's answer was, they were asking, it was like the making things happen thing. And some guy answered.
All right, we need to fix this because every single thing it says it's fuzzy. Hold on.
Okay. I don't think it's that. I think it's the feed. Because it would be super fuzzy for us as well. Okay, so we're gonna have to let it go. Okay, we're gonna have to let it go. Let me complete a thought here. You done?
Okay. I'm just like 75 comments.
I get it, but if they can hear it, they can live with it, and they can just not be able to see our faces very well.
Sorry.
Anyway, so I don't know why we're out of focus, guys, but hopefully it'll fix. It'll be fine. You're gonna be okay. All right. So anyway, this guy like commented on this post completely unrelated to what the question was that they were asking or whatever the post was about. And he basically was like, my sales are down 30% from October of last year. And then he said, way to go, eBay. And that was like his whole comment. And I'm not really sure what he was hoping to accomplish there.
It was like the thanks, Obama.
Basically. And so I, as much as I tend to be, as Teresa calls me, polypositive, hashtag polypositive, because I do tend to see things from the positive standpoint. Sometimes I can be a little snarky. Sometimes I can be a bit of a smart ass. So I went in and I'm like typing, my sales are up 25% over last year. Way to go, eBay. And then I said, and me.
You're such a dork.
So I was being a little bit of a sarcastic jerk.
We are a little fuzzy because we're not even watching our own playback, and it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's get over it, guys. Let's get over it. Let's move on.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, we are a little fuzzy.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Fuzzy.
Yes, I see. There's nothing we can do about it, so people will have to live with it. Anyway, what I'm trying to get out here, guys, is this is where the whole like idea of the boss group, the whole boss up philosophy comes into effect. Because you know what, I'm not going to say that things that happen on eBay's side of things never impact us negatively. I do believe there were certain issues with the glitches, issues with the pictures, issues with the 14-day thing that definitely had an impact on our sales. But you have to choose how you're going to react to that and what you're going to do to try to combat that. And if all you're doing is complaining about it and all you're doing is putting all the blame onto eBay, guess what? You're not doing anything to improve it. Okay. And I see posts, people will make posts where they're like, are anyone else's sales as bad as mine? I'm not getting any sales. Why hasn't Q4 started yet? And I'm telling you, I swear, it's like when we do the store reviews, 90% of the time, the bottom line, the main problem, not enough inventory, not listing often enough.
Or you're listing crap.
That too. But it's like, I swear, so many times when over the couple of years that I've been involved in the eBay community, when somebody posts something about their abysmal sales, and then you get into it and you dig a little deeper, and next thing you find out, they've got 30 listings. If you only have like 150 listings, guys, going into fourth quarter, I'm sorry, but unless you somehow have the magical, perfect 150 listings, you're not going to see the same trends the rest of us are seeing. If you're not listing every day or almost every day, if you're not keeping the inventory up, this is why the months leading up to Q4, we were like trying to hammer home, get those listings up, get them up, because you're going to hit fourth quarter and you're going to want to have a big inventory, because if you don't, you're not going to see those numbers and you're going to get frustrated because you're going to see all these other people talking about their great numbers and you're going to be like, what's wrong with me? And then you're going to want to go, what's wrong with eBay? Why is eBay doing this to us? This is like the worst thing's ever happened. eBay, you've ruined my life. I'm going on to eBay for Business, and I'm going to type really hard, and I'm going to tell you how horrible you are and how you've ruined everything.
You're going to type really hard?
Yeah. Like keyboard cat, you know, the keyboard cat.
Mhm.
Anyway, it's frustrating because I'm like, I feel like you guys, you got the answers right there. And the answer
These
is,
people are not the
no,
people
I'm not
that are
saying
big,
that.
big
I
for
know.
business. Stop yelling at them.
I'm not trying to yell at you guys. But the thing is, for the most part, 85% of the control of how well you do is in your hands. Right?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think quantity over quality necessarily,
No.
Christiane, but it is a bit of a numbers game. You're never going to sell 100% of your inventory, no matter how great it is.
Let me put it
So
this.
the more things you have, the greater percentage for your sell-through rate, which means the more stuff you're going to sell overall.
Yeah.
You know, and for some people, that sell-through rate at 10% might be $50,000 a month. It doesn't matter what your items are that sell. There's only going to be a certain percentage of a sell-through rate, depending on, you know, what categories you're in.
Christine, I'm definitely oversimplifying it because I'm coming at it with the assumption that you've got your game together when it comes to quality of listings. So assuming that you have decent pictures, you got good prices, you've got good policies, you know, you accept returns. There's a lot of sellers who still don't accept returns and don't understand why their sales aren't better. But I'm going to go with the assumption that you have decent stuff. And once you kind of get all those other parts out of the way, if you want more sales, you need more items for sale. I mean, like, yes, there are certain categories and certain sellers out there who can maintain 300 listings throughout the year and make a ton of money because they sell something really specific that's high in demand. But for the most part, most of us are thrifters. So I'm just assuming that you're thrifting decent stuff, you're making decent listings. But if you only have 150 of them, you're kind of out of, you know, you're not going to make big money.
Yeah, Christine, I agree with you. I don't necessarily mean quality of the listing as much as higher ROI listings. I agree. I have my bread and butter stuff that sells for 20, 30, 35 bucks all the time. You know, stuff I buy for $1 or $2, and that's fine. But for the most part, I do try to keep my average sale price over $40. Right now, it's a little under 40, which I'm not thrilled about, but my numbers are up there. So,
yeah. And it depends on like what is your goal. If you want to be a full-time, like we're full-time, we each have our full-time stores. I have my full-time store. I'm thrifting stuff. So my prices aren't, my COGS are not.
Even our sound is breaking up. What is wrong with this?
I don't know, feed? You guys. I don't know.
That's a really bad feed.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I'm looking to see.
I don't think that, let's see, the question here is, the question that I just saw was, do you think using promoted listings is essential? Depending on what you sell. I don't think it's necessarily essential, but I do think that it definitely helps.
Yeah, we're choppy. Okay, hold on a second. If you guys can hold, I know a lot of times when we go away, the viewership drops off. Just give us like 1 minute. Don't go anywhere. Stay on this broadcast, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and close out this window, and I'm going to restart our window, and it should stay in the same video like it did last time. So if you guys could just hold, please. We promise we'll be back, all right? Hold on.
Keep downloading Fortnite.
Going to see if maybe this would be better. And we're on a little bit of a delay, so just let us know, guys, if this looks any better. Maybe refresh. We'll see if this helped at all. I don't know. It did, but if it doesn't, I mean, we're gonna have to like keep going, even if it's a little bit choppy for you guys. Why so blue? All right.
Real fuzzy.
Okay, they said yes, much better. Okay, good. Looks like we didn't lose anybody. So what were we talking about?
Quality over quantity and sell-through rate and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that we're full-time resellers. We each have our own stores. Okay. And so when I talk about when we talk about our numbers, like right now, I'm right around $8,500 gross for the last 31 days on eBay, and I've at about $1,000 on Etsy. And that sounds like a huge number, but that's with thrifted items. That's with like an average sale price, I think, of between $40 and $50, which is pretty high when it comes to thrifted stuff when you're talking about clothes and stuff like that. once you take out COGS, once you take out shipping costs, once you take out fees, once you take out like all these other things, I'm making a decent living, but it's like an average full-time salary of what I would be making if I was, you know, with an education, with a regular job. And that's doing well in what we're doing. So it takes a lot, and that's with 1,800 listings.
Right.
Okay, that's not with 200 listings. So it's a lot of work, and you need those numbers. And I'm thrifting quality items with decent prices, but with a high inventory. So it takes all that stuff.
Same.
Yeah.
Same thing. You know, I actually made a lot more money out in the real world than I do on eBay, bottom line. But I value my time and my freedom and being able to work for myself. And I don't know if you've noticed this about me, but those of you that know me well know I answer to authority very well. I always have to be the boss because I'm like always right. So if I can't be the boss in what I'm doing, then it doesn't work out well for me.
Yep. Veranda Files says, my sense is that at least part of the reason many eBayers are unhappy is that eBay's communication practices are not exactly stellar. If they did better on that count, I bet the discontent would drop. You know what? I agree with you 1,000%, because I believe eBay, when it comes to all the platforms, now I'm not as familiar with like Poshmark and some of the other platforms, but the ones I am familiar with, I think eBay is at the very top when it comes to caring about the sellers, wanting to work with us, listening to us. I do think their biggest weak spot is communication, but I do think it's something that they're working on. I can tell you, they are currently working on something that's going to make their work with the sellers and the communication a lot better. So I promise you, I 100% know that this is something that they are working on. They're not there. And they need to be there, and they're working on it, and they're getting there. So I'm hoping, I just want you guys to know that they do care, they do listen.
And they're putting things in process, hashtag top secret.
Yeah.
To
work better with sellers and to communicate better. And believe me, this is like probably my number one issue with eBay is the communication thing. And you know what? I'm doing what I can to hopefully impact that and help make it better. But I 100% agree with you. So, you know, anyway.
So we did have some AMA questions that were thrown in there. One of them was Laura had asked for me, what is it that is vintage that I may take a long time to sell and not sell for a lot of money, but I can't resist picking up? So for me, it's going to be vintage clothing. Not all vintage clothing sells for a high amount. And it certainly takes a lot longer to sell than most items, but I really can't resist vintage clothing. It doesn't even have to have a good name brand. I just really like vintage clothes, vintage women's clothing. Yeah, that's probably for me. I will almost always pick it up if it's halfway decent in price and in design and color and all that kind of stuff. But even if it's like just mediocre, I'm still probably going to pick it up. And it will sit there and sit there and sit there. And then eventually it sells, but it takes a while. So.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, we both go for the slow dime over the fast nickel. So I generally don't buy stuff because I think it's going to sell fast. I just sell stuff. I buy stuff that I think is going to sell. So if I know it's going to sell, I'm okay with taking time to sell it. One of the things, and I'll show this in Sunday's show as well, but we talked about the whole Fox Racing Sasquatch hoodie. I love those hoodies. They sell for a lot, but if you have a smaller one and you price it high, it might take a while. And I have this one hoodie that I've had for, I think, like over 6 months, and I got multiple offers along the way, and I held out because I didn't want to sell it for anything under $80. And the other day it sold for what I was asking for. So it's like, you know, I'll pick up plenty of vintage stuff that I know is going to take a while, but
yeah, sometimes it takes longer to sell, and that's okay. And sometimes it'll surprise me. It'll sell on Etsy, and I price everything higher at Etsy. And, you know, it'll be on sale in my eBay store for $30, and it'll sell for $60 on Etsy. You never know. So I like that kind of stuff. And I don't mind having things take a little bit longer. You know, your money is made on your buy. That's how I feel. So I know that if I pick up something inexpensively enough, eventually it's going to pay off.
Eventually. Allison says, hey, May, where did I put the shoelaces for the vintage Converse shoes?
Can't help you with that.
Retrace your steps.
What did you do before reselling? So for me, I was a mortgage broker in the mortgage industry when the mortgage industry was hot. I was a mortgage broker, and then I was an account executive. I was an area account executive, sales, on the road sales, and I trained mortgage brokers and for Countrywide. I worked for Countrywide as an outside sales executive, and I ran a couple of nonprofit organizations back east, but that was all volunteer. I had founded and helped run those.
Yep. Directly before doing eBay, I was the executive director for a Habitat for Humanity affiliate in Oregon. My master's degree is in nonprofit management, which is basically kind of like a business degree, just specifically for the nonprofit world. Before that, I was working in prison programs. Actually, when I went to school, my big focus was prison education programs, particularly higher education, college programs, as well as like GED programs and stuff like that. So I worked in those programs. I taught some classes in prison. I also developed some education programs for prison. So that was kind of my area of expertise. It's just that when I got done with grad school, there wasn't a job for me to directly get in that field right coming out of college in Oregon, because I went to grad school in New York. So that's how I got into Habitat for Humanity. And I ended up there for
that's kind of something that
years.
Really something we really connect on is the whole greater giving back to the community thing. We're both have been very heavily involved with working with doing volunteerism and working with charitable and nonprofit organizations throughout our lives. Her in an executive director position. Mine was in a president and vice president of a nonprofit. Hers was a paid position, but as we all know, nonprofits are not where you go to make money.
Yeah, you can make decent money.
You can do well. I'm not denigrating your paycheck. I'm just saying it's not where you don't get into that line of work to make a fortune. So mine was all volunteer. And I did the mortgage stuff on the side. So when the mortgage business crashed, I kind of started selling more on eBay and had another job that I hated in sales, but it was what it was. And then I've been in December, it's my 10-year full-time anniversary on eBay.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, the reason I went into nonprofit work is because I just realized that I didn't want to live my whole life just kind of supporting myself and making money and whatever. It's like I realized I needed something bigger. I needed to be doing something outside of just myself. And so that's what got me into doing nonprofit work. And so when I started doing eBay, I love eBay. I love thrifting. I love sourcing. I love flipping. I love everything about reselling, but I still need like that part. There's still that need for me to be doing something bigger. And that's kind of where this comes in. That's where, being in Facebook groups and helping people and doing this channel is that I need to have like an element of doing something for other people. And I just naturally, in any job I've ever had, whether it's for profit or not for profit, I've always risen to a leadership position pretty quickly. And so that's just where I naturally end up, because I learn very quickly, and then I love to teach, and I love to help other people. And so that's just how I am. And so this kind of like fulfills that part that I need, and I love doing it. So,
and I still do a lot of nonprofit volunteer work with 2 or 3 different organizations throughout the year where I volunteer a lot of time. So I still get my fulfillment, that way. Plus I love doing what we do with eBay and teaching with the, Facebook group and all that kind of stuff and these things. So we've both been very involved in giving back to the community for a very long time. So it was one of the things that we connected on, actually.
Absolutely.
The other question was, why did I move they know why you moved to Las Vegas. Why did I move to Las Vegas? So I've been here for almost 5.5 years, and I used to come and visit here all the time. It came to a point where I worked out of the house, and my ex also worked out of the house, and my daughter was 20 at the time. And we said we came here to visit friends and stayed off the strip for the first time and actually saw how beautiful the neighborhoods were and the subdivisions, and the cost of living was a lot lower. And we said, we do not want to live through the winter in New England. So it was easy for us to pick up and move, and able to get a house that was 2.5 times the size of the house that we had in Rhode Island. And I love it.
Awesome.
And someone asked, what is a great place to start if you want to move into nonprofits? It sounds like really fulfilling work.
I would say that I would want you to clarify if you just want to like volunteer, or are you saying you want a career in nonprofits? Because there's a couple of different answers I would give.
I would say that, well, that's true. First thing I would do is find something that you're passionate about. You know, some people find that they're passionate about helping the homeless. Some people find they're passionate about working with food banks and helping feed children and families that don't have the basic necessities. Some people find that they are passionate about working with cancer survivors or families of cancer survivors. Maybe you have someone in your family that has died from cancer or been affected by cancer or AIDS or any organization. Generally speaking, when you get involved in a nonprofit or you get involved in volunteerism, it's because that organization speaks to you on a personal level. And that's what makes it more fulfilling, because you feel like you can make a difference. So I would research and find things close to you that speak to you, and then contact them about volunteering. That's how.
Yeah, and so I would say the same for immediate involvement. If you just want to get involved, then I would definitely just say look for local nonprofits that are something that you're passionate about, and go ahead and start volunteering for them, because they're always looking for volunteers. If you're looking to do to have a career in the nonprofit work, I would say you need an education, because it is
very difficult to break in unless you have a degree in nonprofit business. I did not, but I founded my nonprofits, so I built my own degree, basically.
Well, and I'm talking about like taking it to a professional level, because I mean, there's plenty of nonprofits out there that are going to hire people for lower level positions, and you're not going to need the right education for it.
Right.
But if
I was the president and executive director, but
if you want to make like a decent living at it, then you're going to want to have some sort of degree in it, and because for one thing, one position that's like probably the even more higher paid than executive director is a resource development director. That's what I was before I was the executive director. And that's like probably one of the more higher paid positions within the nonprofit world. And it's also the one position that women actually make more than men do, because women tend to be better at it, or they think that they tend to perform better, because it's all about building relationships and asking people for money. And when it comes to nonprofit
and I just learned how to do that on the fly. I didn't have a degree.
Yeah.
I built a multi-million-dollar nonprofit organization, and I did all of that, just trial and error.
So if you want to get a job, get the education. If you just want to start your own nonprofit so you can give yourself the job, you can do that. But
I learned how to. I wrote press releases. I did interviews. I wrote dozens and dozens of grants. I did a lot of grant writing, grant proposals, but all self-taught. So let's see where there were some more questions there. If you scroll up a little bit.
Well, I know I know that Allison wanted to know if either of us had ever been fired from a job.
I was once.
I've never really.
Humiliating.
Yeah. I've never been fired from a job. I've resigned from one before, but I've never been fired. No.
I've resigned. Oh, I think everybody's resigned from a job. My very first.
But I mean, like, not just like I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Like, this isn't working for us, I'm going to resign, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, well, I've done that too. Yeah. I had my very last job that I was working in sales for a furniture company, and it was a large chain, and it will be 10 years in December since I've been let go. I was consistently their number 2, number 3 salesperson, and they basically brought in a new commission structure payout system with a computer system that screwed everybody up, and nobody was getting paid, and they weren't being paid properly. And I was very vocal about that. Nobody was it was taking months for them to fix the issues. And we were all going broke in the meantime, and I kept going over management's head. And so basically they brought me into the office and found 3 infractions to write me up for within a 1-hour period, and quit me and fired me. Yeah. So
you were too sassy for them. Laura Franzico has an AMA for you, Vicki. How mad will you be if I mail Katie a raccoon Christmas ornament?
I won't be mad. It will just hang in the back of the tree.
Rude. Rude. So rude. Anyway, all right. Other questions, guys? Ask me anything. Okay. Wicked 13 Vintage. Sandra wants to know, I want to scale up my inventory, but don't have a lot of capital. I should thrift estate and yard sales. What's the best way to get more capital? I mean, one of the things is that you need to be reinvesting in your business. And so, and that's, if you don't have access to a lot of capital right now, it's just a matter of slowly building that up. It's like you need to be selling the stuff that's going to make you some money, and you need to be reinvesting that. if you're only spending $25 a week on inventory, it's like, it's never going to happen. You need to be like putting the money into it. Right. So I mean, I don't know a quick and easy answer for that, because
you just can't spend everything that you make. I mean, you've got to put money back into the business. I don't think you necessarily need to have a huge chunk of capital to get started in this business. I never did. Katie never did. You just have to learn. And I know it's hard. You know, sometimes you need every penny you make that week, and you don't have enough to go and work on source. Yeah.
Do you have any death piles? Do you have stuff that's unlisted in your house? I mean, maybe you don't, but I would guess you probably have more stuff you could be listing. So a lot of it is just about, you know, buckling down and getting stuff listed and being super consistent, and that's going to bring your sales up, and that's going to bring in more capital, and you're going to find that you're going to have the money to spend on more inventory. And you can it'll start to snowball, but you have to be consistently putting it back in. So it's kind of key.
Yeah, she's reinvesting. Yeah, that's all you can do. Flippin' South got fired from the last job as the GM. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. What happened is that they ended up firing me, and I fought it. I fought unemployment every step of the way. It took me 3 court hearings and 6 months, and then they had to pay me 6 months of back pay unemployment because I won. I'm smart. So it worked.
It worked. Let's see.
And I decided to start working and selling full-time on eBay. I was already part-time, a hobby seller, and I loved it. I just doubled down, tripled down, and started to make a living at it.
All right. Rose had a question. Any tips on getting something authenticated? Got some WWE, WWF signed memorabilia. I mean,
well, here's my thing. Unless it is something that is a $1,000 autographed signature, do not spend money on getting it authenticated. People are not faking WWE and WWF wrestler signatures. For the most part, those guys are signing stuff at conventions all the time and have been forever. If it is something that's worth $1,000, if somebody's saying it's, you know, I don't know, John Lennon's signature, that I'd have authenticated. Babe Ruth, I'd have that authenticated. The other stuff, for the most part, it's not adding enough value.
I think if you're selling in California, you have to have a certificate of authenticity.
No.
California sellers, are you sure? I'm pretty sure you can't sell stuff.
I don't know. I've been selling
We're not in California.
unauthenticated stuff.
We're not in California.
Okay, I'm not in California. I've been selling unauthenticated stuff for 15 years on eBay.
Yeah, no, I think that's a recent thing within the last couple of years. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe if you live in California and you are selling stuff that's signed, you have to, and I think it has to do with like all the, you know, that's where you get a lot of autographs and stuff like that. And, but anyway, otherwise, anything I have signed, I always put in the condition notes. I always say no certificate of authenticity, because I'm like, sorry, I can't prove it. But
getting a Mink coat authenticated, unless you're trying to authenticate a brand name, no, not at all. I mean, Mink is very easy to tell if it's real or not. If you have any question as to whether it's mink or a different type of fur, then my best suggestion to you is to find a local furrier, a fur coat sales place. Bring it in and ask them about doing repair or replacing a lining. And when they do that, they will usually do those type of things for free. Bring it up in conversation.
Your local furrier.
There's one everywhere. Bring it up in conversation and they'll tell you what it is. That's how I authenticated a seal coat that I had once because I wasn't sure what type of fur it was. Of course, I couldn't sell it because you cannot transport seal across state lines. I had to sell it locally, but.
So Connecticut Girl says, is it normal to sell an average of 1 item a day with 586 listings? Not sure what I'm doing wrong. You know, it's really hard to say because we have to see what it is that you have for sale. Because I mean, if you're selling items that are super high value, then 1 a day doesn't sound too bad, but that is a little bit low. So, I mean, if you think that there's something wrong, you can always, if you're in the Boss Facebook group, we're super nice there. We're really non-judgmental and helpful. Mm-hmm. So if you want to like start a post in there sharing your store and say, I think I'm not selling as much as I should be, and I don't know what's wrong. Could you guys give me some feedback? Like, we will totally do that. And usually there's something really simple that most times when I look at somebody's store, it takes me about 5 minutes to be able to pinpoint like major issues that might be keeping you from being able to sell something. Like there was somebody who messaged me a couple days ago and they were like, hey, could you help me out with this? What was it? It was something, it was like a sports jacket. And they were like, could you help me out with this? It's been up for months and it hasn't sold. I don't know what the problem is. Well, the problem is when it was like an NBA jacket, and when you searched the name of the team and jacket, one thing that eBay does that some people don't realize is it will auto filter depending on what the results come up as. So for a lot of times for sports stuff, so let's say like this, an NBA jacket, let's say it's Carolina Panthers, I think that's NBA, whatever, jacket. If there's 188 results and 120 of them fall within the NBA category, it's going to auto filter, so it only shows that category. And if you listed it in men's coats and jackets, somebody searching won't even see it at all. So, and that's what happened with this particular listing. I'm like, oh, you have it in coats and jackets, but when I search, do the normal keywords you would use to find this jacket, it's only showing this other category that your jacket isn't even in. So I'm going to guess that the people that need to see it aren't seeing it at all because you have it in the wrong category.
Mm-hmm.
So there's things like that that could be keeping your stuff from being seen. You just never know.
Or if you're brave and you want to put yourself on the list for us to do a live store review, we're going to be doing another one in another couple of weeks, and that would, we're happy to help you with that. But a live store review does require you to let us do it live, and you be live on camera too. So if that's a little too much for you, that's okay. I totally get it. Send us a message or post in the Facebook group. We're gentle, and as is everyone else, because if they're not, then they're not going to stay in the group.
Yeah. We really are trying to like keep that group super positive, super helpful, friendly. We get that like there's people of all skill levels that are in groups like that, in any community like this, and that particular space, it's really important to us that it stays super positive and helpful. And you know what? There's room to bring up concerns or to bring up issues and do it in a really nice way, in a helpful way that isn't attacking somebody or condescending or rude. And so we're really aware of like that's the kind of community that we want to foster within that group. So we hope that people like you are going to feel comfortable coming in and saying like, hey, I've got this problem. How can you help me?
There's a lot of Facebook groups where when you ask a question, people jump down your throat, or they're real critical, or they're really mean. And there are ways to teach people how to do things properly, or how they can change things without being overly critical and derogatory or condescending. And that's just the type of group that we want to foster. And we're not looking for people that can't say things nicely. That's really the way it works. I had somebody quit the group the other day. You know, I didn't say anything wrong. They had posted a post and there were a bunch of answers on it, and they turned the post off and didn't want any more comments on the post. And I just sent them a nice message and said, hey, can you do me a favor and not turn the comments off on a post, because we want people to be able to read them. And in case there are other questions, it's a teaching group and we want people to read the comments. And then they proceeded to flip the F out on me. And
yeah. Here's the thing,
telling
guys.
them what to do, like a third grader. And
here's
they
the thing.
removed themselves from the group.
We all started at some point. We all started fresh at some point and didn't know what we were doing at all. There's areas that I still don't know, like especially when it comes to categories outside of the ones that I list in. But when I first started out, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm going to tell you guys a little something right now. I'm going to tell you something about myself right now. Did you know that I'm pretty sure I'm currently still unable to list anything in health and beauty on eBay? That is a banned category for me.
Because I did not know that.
Because when I very first started, I was doing hard goods. I was listing all kinds of different stuff, and I was going to. There's a local drugstore, and you know how they have like all those. Wait, hold on a second. Hold the phone. I'll get back to this.
Stop the presses.
The Flippin' South just busted out a $20 super chat. This is on a better note. Today is my wedding anniversary. So cheers, y'all. Love your live shows and advice. Cheers, y'all. Well, Flippin' South, you know what I think about you and your wedding anniversary? Yay!
I knew it was coming.
Super chat day, y'all.
Y'all. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. All right. So anyway, here's what happened. So I was going to this little drugstore, and they had, all of the perfume and cologne that's like in the style of It's like so it's totally legal for them to sell those. They even will say on the packaging, it'll say in the style of Hugo Boss. They'll say whatever in the style of Hugo Boss. So right on the packaging. It's not illegal. They do that, and it's the fake scents. So I was buying those because they'd have them on sale. They'd have them like buy one get one free. I was buying them for like $2.50 for a bottle, and I was turning around selling them for 15, 20, 25 bucks on eBay.
I did that at the dollar store with the same type of things.
But here's the thing. I didn't know about the whole thing of bureau and stuff like that. And so I was just putting, in the title, you know, whatever in the style of Hugo Boss and listing it. Well, it got taken down. And so in the email that I got, you know, it said something about counterfeit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, this isn't counterfeit. And I even talked to somebody on the phone. I'm like, it's not counterfeit. I'm saying it's in the style of, and blah, blah, blah. And so then I just didn't, it's like I couldn't get it through my head, like what the issue was. And so like I changed it around, but I still had like the Hugo Boss in the title or whatever, whichever one it was. And I did it again. And guess what? I got banned from health and beauty. So I cannot list anything in health and beauty. I'm sure, I don't know if I could get that reversed at this point.
You probably could.
But now,
you might know a few people.
But within like a few months of that time, when I looked back, and now when I look back, I'm like, that's so stupid. Like, I completely get it. Like, that's so dumb. Like, obviously, like, the whole problem is I can't use that brand name at all in the listing. Now, I still philosophically say, okay, but they can put it on the packaging, so it's not illegal. Doesn't matter. There's ways that it works on eBay and the rules that they have, and they don't want it coming up when somebody's searching for Hugo Boss cologne to have my fake stupid listing come up.
Fake ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Teresa could get your ban lifted. I bet she knows people.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's nothing in health and beauty that I want to sell now, but that was just a really dumb rookie mistake. But at the time, what I was doing made perfect sense to me. And so my whole point is that we all have our areas that we know what we're doing and areas that we don't. And I think it's, you know, super lame if you're judging harshly somebody else just because they're just starting and maybe they don't know what they're doing with this. Maybe their question seems stupid to you, but to them, it's a perfectly legitimate question that they need help with. So
as you two know, we know the same pieces. That's right, Teresa. Bob is my new BFF. Who got a text message from Bob last week? That would be me.
Braggart. Yeah, Bigger Thrift. I could use Hugo Boss. That's the problem.
Christiane had a question. So here's an example about categories where she gets confused. It has a set of art prints that are locomotive train related. When I relisted, I moved from general art prints category to collectibles, transportation. See, I think that's great. When you relisted that, that's a more dialed down category, and that's where that's what I would have put it.
Mm-hmm. What I will do is, so if we're talking about what I was saying earlier with the whole category issue, what I usually do is I'll do a search for a specific thing and just see where, like for instance, NASCAR jackets are always going to end up, you want it in the NASCAR category. But there's other categories where the more general one is actually better because that's where the majority of the stuff is. But you just want to be like aware that like you want to make sure you're in like the most viewed, populated. Yeah. And that's part of why I put all my t-shirts into the regular t-shirts category. And it's also why I never do unisex t-shirts. Like people think like, oh, if I put this in the unisex t-shirt category, it's going to be more likely to sell. And I'm like, no, because the men's t-shirt category is actually the one that's much more used, and you don't want stuff to like not get seen.
Right.
So
it's like Harley Davidson stuff. And Allison probably would attest to this too, and Katie, when you're selling Harley Davidson shirts, they almost want to dial into the Harley Davidson category every time. And I don't like to put them that far into a subcategory because that ends up being under automotive, Harley Davidson, apparel. Most people are not going into the automotive category to look for Harley Davidson clothing. So I try to put my t-shirts in the men's t-shirt category.
Right. Because unless you went and searched Harley Davidson t-shirt and it automatically auto-filtered down to the automotive Harley Davidson,
which I don't think
category,
it does.
Which it does not do. So that's where you have to be. This is kind of like next level.
Yeah, like Karen, concert shirts. Concert shirts almost always want to dial you into the music memorabilia t-shirt category. You don't want to do that. You want it to be in generic men's t-shirts category because you're going to have more views that way. Yeah. If someone's going into the t-shirt category to view, I don't know,
I see a lot of people do
t-shirt. Yeah, you don't want to be, you put your item specifics wherever you want them, but be more generic about your overall category. That's kind of the best advice.
Connecticut girl, do you feel like buyers are willing to pay a bit more when you offer free shipping?
It's part of your overall price. So if you're looking at a t-shirt for $30 plus $4 shipping, or a t-shirt for, $23.95 with free shipping, they're going to go for the $23.95 with free shipping.
Well, and there's also, to me, it's more an issue of even if I don't know the exact number of how many people click on that free shipping, like check the box for free shipping to filter their results. To me, any number is unacceptable to lose. So let's say you have 100 buyers, and that represents all the buyers on eBay. You have 100 buyers. Let's say 10 of them click that free shipping box. That means that if I don't have free shipping, 10 people aren't seeing my listings out of the 100.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I want 100%. I want all of the people to be able to see my listings.
I personally don't click on free shipping. I always click on price plus shipping.
Sure. And so do I. But that's not everybody.
Not everybody does that, because a lot of people, I swear, a lot of people believe that free shipping means free shipping. They don't understand that it's something that's built in the price. They don't understand that sellers need to pay the shipping. I literally had somebody last week say to me that they were only willing to pay, I don't remember what it was a cake pan. It was a Wilton cake pan, nothing fantastic. I had $15 plus free shipping. It's over a pound. It was a tiny item. So I really wasn't going any lower than the $15. And I had replied back. They'd sent an offer. I'd replied back and I said, I appreciate your offer. I really can't go much lower than the sale price, because shipping, it's over a pound, and shipping does cost $7 for me to get this to you. Why do you say free shipping then? Shipping is not my problem. And it was a ridiculous message back. Then you shouldn't say free shipping unless it's free shipping. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how this works.
So Teresa has a good point as well. So I was talking about, there's the fact that people will filter out any listings that charge shipping. And then there's also the fact that having free shipping helps with your search ranking. So free shipping is something eBay wants us to offer. And so it's one of the many, many factors. It's not the only factor, but it's one of the many factors that will help push your item up in the search. And so in my opinion, as a seller, and I understand that it helps that I only ship things that are for the most part lighter. The most I ever have to spend on shipping for anything is $10. So for me, I build everything into my price because I want to make sure that my doors are as wide open as possible. It's like when I say remove all obstacles, I want every single person possible to see my listings. And so the more that see them and the higher up it is in the search, the better off I am. It all adds up. All right.
True. And Dana, I don't know why I said Coldplay. It was just came to me. I don't even like Coldplay. I wouldn't even go see Coldplay if I might have a Coldplay t-shirt. But,
whatever.
Whatevs.
Yeah, I don't charge when it's over a pound.
Neither do I.
So, because I sell all clothing, so I get it. All my t-shirts are going to be first class because they're under a pound. Anything over a pound that fits in a padded flat rate that costs me $6.90, I'm just going to build that into my cost again. My price. Anything that it cannot fit, it's over a pound, it cannot fit in a flat rate padded mailer. Generally, I can send that cubic, so all my shoes, everything, and most cubic stuff is around, for me, ends up being around maybe $8.50. If it's a little bit bigger, it might be a little over $10. And to me, all those numbers I can build into my cost. And here's the thing: I'm not a seller who's working narrow margins and having to compete with other sellers to get the best price or to get all the sales. So because I already priced my stuff up higher, it's okay. I can build it into my price. I don't have to be at the same price as somebody else who's charging shipping. So I'm not worried about that. I focus on the bigger picture and making sure I offer free returns. I do all my own direct international shipping. I do next day shipping. I'm in the guaranteed delivery program. I do all the things, promoted listings, sales. I do everything I possibly can to make sure that my listing is the absolute best listing out there, is at the highest place it can possibly be in the search. And then I can charge more. And so none of it really matters, guys. That's the bottom line.
And you do free shipping on Etsy as well. I do not.
Yes, I do.
I have free shipping only on my clothing on Etsy. I don't have free returns. I don't even know if that's an option on Etsy, but I don't have it. I charge for shipping on anything that's not clothing on Etsy. I do have free shipping on almost everything in my store, and that includes really big, heavy items that will cost me $40 to ship across the country. So I still have it. I just factored into my pricing.
Yeah.
And then I might be interested in you know, I will take a lower offer maybe if it happens to be something that's going to California and I know I can ship it for $10 versus $40 going to New York or Florida. Seems to be everything goes to Florida when it's heavy for me.
Yeah, Julianne says it's harder to build the free shipping and free returns into the price on lower dollar bread and butter items. I totally get it, but you also have to think about, you know, when you're looking at that, a lot of times you are thinking of it transactionally, and this is where I talk about the whole transactionally thing and when to step back. Because if you're just thinking about transactionally, like it costs me this much and I have this margin, but if you're doing these other things that might cost you a little bit more, but they're leading to more sales, then overall you're going to be better off.
You're gonna make more money. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, even with Etsy, I am offering free shipping. I didn't used to offer free shipping, but I do offer free shipping now on Etsy because I know that they are also moving towards valuing that a lot more. They are pushing for people to do free shipping. So my prices on Etsy are similar to eBay. Generally, that people pay a little bit more on Etsy, but I still do the free shipping because that's what they're asking for. So I know it's impacting my search ranking, having free shipping better, you know, as opposed to not having it. So, there you
go. Oshan deals. Do you do free returns on international? No,
nobody does that. Nobody does that.
No free returns and no free shipping. Calculated shipping on international, and they pay if they want to return something. And I'll tell you what, I don't get returns international.
Internationally, nobody expects you to give them free shipping or free returns. So it's just not something. And here's the other thing, guys, when we're talking about all these costs, I hope that 100% of you guys have been listening to us and are at least trying to learn how cubic priority works. And if you're doing international shipping, you are using Pirate Ship and their simple export rate, because, you know, all this talk about things that cost you more money, you're not being able to do free shipping, you're not being able to do free returns. If you are taking advantage of these programs that are going to help you save a ton of money and you're just throwing money away on shipping, then I don't know what more I can do for you guys. Come on. So
trying to help you save money.
Yeah, and it's not like peanuts. It's like literally like dollars on every single package when you are doing cubic priority rates.
I saved $25 on 2 packages for first class international yesterday on Pirate Ship. 2 packages, $25 more in my pocket because the customer paid for shipping, and I keep that savings.
Now, listen, guys, I will say, here's something new that I want to address when it comes to cubic shipping. I mean, I've talked about it before, but we would have cubic rates within the system. Like I still buy my first class label and my padded flat rate label, pretty much everything else I get on other sites. It would be ideal for us, I mean, better for us if we could get our cubic rate right through eBay shipping. Because here's the thing, especially when you're doing free returns, or even if you're not doing free returns, when you have to just label through the site, there's a return, eBay charge you either the price that you paid through them, or if you didn't buy it through them, they'll charge you like a higher price. If that makes sense. So for instance, I ship a pair of shoes, and on eBay it's going to cost me $12 because it won't fit in the flat rate. So on eBay it's going to cost me $12 to ship it on eBay. Well, I'm in Pirate Ship. I'm in cubic priority rates, and I'm going to send it for $0.46. And then for some reason they'll say there's something wrong with them. The guy says, return these. Well, I have to send them a label through eBay with the returns thing. And eBay is charging them $12, $14. Whereas if I bought that cubic label from eBay, it would be the same thing back. So we want to be able to get it through there.
The audio is chopping up. You haven't stopped talking long enough for me to.
Sorry.
Break it up.
Yeah,
that is a terrible feed. I'm sorry. I really can't even.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Hold on. Give us 30 seconds. All right. Here we go. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the bad.
It's not our internet. It's got to be tubes.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Hopefully that helps. Anyway, guys, so Juliana Johnson wants to know if cubic shipping works on larger heavy board games. Most board games it's not going to work with because it's about volume.
It's not going to work on
pricing.
any.
Yeah, pretty much no board. You have to be like a little board game. So probably not. But what I was leading up to is we want to make it a priority. We want eBay to start offering cubic priority rates on the eBay shipping system. So here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. I saw Allison, Big Drift Rift, had posted a picture, and she had said something about spending a bunch of money using for pirate ship. Okay, here's my challenge to you guys. Next time you ship something, like especially Monday when you have a bunch of stuff to ship out, figure out how to save using cubic priority through pirate ship. Post something on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Use the hashtag cubic priority and pirate ship and eBay, something like that. We want to start making it known that this is a big deal, that this is saving us lots of money. Yeah, maybe business. How do we do it? Let's. I'll do one. Maybe you guys could like fashion that. I'll do one on Monday. But we want to make kind of like a big fuss about this and basically let them know that we care about this. This is really important to us, because that's the thing. It's like anytime I do a return on something that I do cubic, it's going to cost me more money getting it back. So anyway, sorry if that was like a big convoluted thing, but
yeah, I mean, I have no idea why the sound is so bad. Sorry, we use the system every show, so it's not on our end.
Yeah, I don't know.
It has to be something on YouTube.
Pause the Fortnite download.
I don't even know what Fortnite is.
It's a dumb game that I've never played.
Me either.
So I don't really know.
I don't play games.
Yeah, you don't play games. You do too. You play in life. All right, guys.
Let's see. So Julie, basically to answer your question, does it work for larger, heavier items? Only if they're small. So like small, heavy items would be ideal, not larger, heavier items. Larger, heavier items, you're West Coast. We are too. I mean, Nevada may as well be Washington or California as far as shipping to the East Coast. So what I would suggest you try to do for your board games, anything over 2 pounds, if you can't fit it into the medium flat rate box, the board game box is $17 and change, which is really crap, but it is what it is. That will sometimes be your best bet. The other option is FedEx Ground. Sometimes FedEx Ground is even cheaper. And just go with whichever one works the best for you.
Yeah, I don't know why the video is so bad. I think it is a YouTube thing, because I'm checking our speeds right now, guys. Our download speeds are good. What our upload speeds are. I'm doing the little speedtest.net. Oh yeah, our upload speeds are real bad. Real bad. I don't know what that is, guys. So it looks like it is on our end. It's our internet. Sorry.
All right, and we're paying for the super expensive hyper rate internet system, so that's where you need to make a phone call to Cox now, because that's happened twice.
It has
in the last week.
It has indeed. All right, guys. So I don't know why it's so bad, but maybe we should cut today a little short, fortunately, because I don't want you. Yeah, I was just looking at the upload, Teresa. It's like really bad. It should be way higher. It's like at a 3.4. It's not good. It's supposed to go up to like 30.
Yeah, it's really bad.
All right, guys. So I think we're going to cut the show short today. I mean, we still got a good hour in, and we'll try to figure out what's going on with the.
I got to go ship.
And Vicky's got to go ship and stuff. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. And I'll get this dialed in, and hopefully it'll be a lot better for Sunday's show. We sourced a ton of really good stuff. And
so much.
We had some great sales this week. So it's going to be a really fun show. I will get the internet figured out, so this is not happening anymore. I'm paying more now, guys. I'm paying more, and they're giving us crappy service.
It was better before we upgraded.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you later. Make sure you're in the Boss Facebook group if you're not already. Come hang out with us in there. It's a great community. Everybody's awesome and fun. So, all right, guys, boss up, because that's what we're going to go do. I'm going to get this internet taken care of. It's ridiculous. Bye.